Understanding the APPR Summary for 2017-18 Staff Evaluation, Score and Rating Distribution and Data Submission, June 2018. The APPR Summary. Each LEA with an approved APPR plan for 2017-18 will receive a summary of their plan as a resource to use when calculating scores and ratings for teachers and principals, and when submitting staff evaluation data to the department for the October 19, 2018 staff evaluation data submission deadline. APPR summaries will be posted in the IRS portal, or IRSP. District personnel who have access to the IRSP should log in and download the summary in preparation for the calculation, distribution, and submission of staff evaluation scores and ratings for 2017-18. Regional information centers will also receive the APPR summaries for all districts and BOCES in their area, which will assist in their ability to provide technical assistance throughout the staff evaluation data submission process. Reading the APPR summary. The example summary included in this presentation demonstrates an APPR plan that does not use either of the optional subcomponents, which characterizes the majority of districts and BOCES across the state. Additional examples, which included the use of one or both optional subcomponents, can be found on the Resources for Closeout of 2017-18 APPR page on Engage New York. Components of the APPR summary, general information. Each APPR summary contains the name of the district or BOCES, said code, and approval date of the plan approved for the 2017-18 school year at the beginning of the summary and in the file name. Be sure the correct version of the APPR plan is referenced when calculating staff evaluation scores and ratings. All currently approved APPR plans are posted on the NYSED website. Components of the APPR summary. Group Heading 1. The APPR summary is broken up according to the type of scores and ratings needed for a group of educators. Most APPR summaries contain three groups of educators. 1. Original scores and ratings only. The required student performance subcomponent is not based in whole or in part on the New York State grades 3 through 8 ELA or math assessments, or on a state-provided growth score. The first group of the APPR summary contains information related to educators who need original scores and ratings only. Components of the APPR summary, Group Heading 2. Both original and transition scores and ratings needed. The required student performance subcomponent is based in whole or in part on the New York State grades 3 through 8 ELA or math assessments, or on a state-provided growth score. The second group of the APPR summary contains information related to educators who need both original and transition scores and ratings. Components of the APPR summary, Group Heading 3. Both original and transition scores and ratings needed. State-provided growth score not received. The required student performance subcomponent is based, in whole or in part, on a state-provided growth score, but the state-provided growth score was not received, e.g., due to low participation rates, data issues, etc. The final group of the APPR summary contains information related to educators who need both original and transition scores and ratings, and who should have received a state-provided growth score, but did not. Components of the APPR summary: columns, measures, and assessments. The APPR summary is split into two columns. Original, shaded in blue. All information in this column pertains to original scores and ratings, those which may include the use of New York State grades 3 through 8 ELA or math assessments and state-provided growth scores. Denotes that the information listed comes from Task 2 for teachers or Task 7 for principals of the APPR plan. Transition, shaded in orange. All information in this column, shaded in orange, pertains to transition scores and ratings, those based on alternate SLOs, which do not include the use of New York State grades 3 through 8 ELA or math assessments and state-provided growth scores. Denotes that the information listed comes from Task 2 transition for teachers or Task 7 transition for principals of the APPR plan for plans approved after March 10, 2016, or from the supplemental form for alternate SLOs for plans approved prior to March 11, 2016. Components of the APPR summary: columns, evaluation components. The evaluation components section is further split into two additional columns. Data submitted, shaded in green. The information in this column refers to the elements that should be included in the staff evaluation data submission to the New York State Education Department to meet the October 19, 2018 deadline. Educator receives original shaded in blue, transition shaded in orange. The information in this column refers to the elements that should be distributed to teachers and principals as part of their final staff evaluation. The educator's final staff evaluation contains more elements than the corresponding record that will be submitted to the department. Components of the APPR summary: sections, measures or assessments 1. The first column in this section lists all sets of educators included in the APPR plan as grouped in the APPR plan, combined based on common assessments. Non-core courses and electives are listed exactly as included in the APPR plan in Task 2.10. Components of the APPR summary: sections, measures, or assessments 2. The second column lists either state-provided growth score or the SLO measures and assessments included in Task 2 for teachers and Task 7 for principals of the APPR plan to be used to calculate original scores and ratings. Components of the APPR summary: sections, measures or assessments 3. The third column lists the alternate SLO measures and assessments included in Task 2 transition for teachers or Task 7 transition for principals of the APPR plan for plans approved after March 10, 2016, or from the supplemental form for alternate SLOs for plans approved prior to March 11, 2016, to be used to calculate transition scores and ratings as applicable. Components of the APPR summary. Sections. Evaluation Components 1. The first column in this section lists the 7 components of a final staff evaluation record by category. Components of the APPR summary. Sections. Evaluation Components 2. The first part, data submitted, of the second, original, and third transition columns lists the elements that should be submitted to the department for the October staff evaluation data collection deadline. Components of the APPR summary sections. Evaluation Components 3. The second part, educator receives, of the second, original, and third transition columns lists the elements that should be provided to teachers and principals for their final staff evaluations. The resources for closeout of 2017-18 APPR page on Engage New York contains further information and resources on staff evaluation data. Questions regarding the APPR summary or the submission of staff evaluation data should be directed to educatoreval@nised.gov.